Weirdbeard. Yes, Weege Show. Part of Racer X. Look, we even have a nice Hi Family. There's a nice merchandise trailer there. Go to racerxbrand.com and get your merch, or just come down here, Loretta's. Is this a real road? Because if it is, this is not legal. Wow, the new 8-passenger Toyota Tundra. Again, just Racer X. We do have real equipment here. Let me give the sponsor plug. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And I'm wearing a Russian Nesting Dolls hat, courtesy of Jessica Coombs here. They have a motocross team now?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, they've been to a lot of races. I saw them at Daytona. Yes, they had to take a little break with the war in Ukraine, but the Russian Nesting Dolls are back. I would like to show you the track, but apparently we are, they're not letting us on the track. I can clearly see this. We're not allowed on the track.
It's just
someone's doing a good job. He's doing a good job.
Anybody who knows anybody around here?
No, I do know some people, but he's standing right here and it's not doing anything.
I don't know that, dude.
It's not helping anything. I don't know what the big deal is here. Everybody seems to want to look at the track at 7:30 p.m. The racing is long since done here at Loretta's. Guess who's back? What's up, Megawatt and Mikey Wayne's doing a good job. Part of our announcing team.
Now a little fun with some freestyle.
Is good?
Perfect.
Oh, that's why everybody's pumped. Freestyle.
FMX.
Yeah, all right, we'll do some freestyle courtesy of Monster. They're great announcers. Kevin Kelly, my buddy in the tower, is terrible. Hey, gang. Guess who's a sponsor of the Weege Show from Loretta's? We're going to do 3 of these. It's actually Race Tech, and they're back for our Loretta shows. Gold valves will make your suspension plusher, better bottoming resistance, more traction, all made and engineered in the USA. So, what's up, Scott Sepkovic, Arma? You filling cans of Arma right now?
I'm washing stuff.
Oh, okay. Please tell me that's not part of the ingredients.
Yeah.
But I've been told you have some good stuff that I need to try. The best stuff.
We formulate for performance, not profits.
Performance, not profits.
Profits will come when your performance helps people perform at the highest level.
Look, you're a former agent. If you just do your job and win the races, the money will come.
Exactly.
Right?
And we help you do that.
You hesitated a little bit. I think hesitate a little.
It depends. Some guys are hard to manage.
Any rider in particular? That's Jason Lawrence's current agent.
2 names on Carrie Joe's list.
Yeah, Jason and Lawrence. So that's Scott Sepkovic. He's now at Arma, but the whole Jason Lawrence thing from back in the day, he was the engineer of that. And he also told me to buy stock in Monster Energy in 2005, and I said, do you think I'm going to take financial advice from that guy? Well, if I did, there wouldn't be a Weege Show, because I'd be a millionaire and I'd be retired. So racing is complete, and we have 2 other Weege Shows brought to you by Race Tech. We'll get to those later in the week and talk to you about what's actually going on the racetrack. Highlights today, Ryder DeFrancesco, Chance Hymas, they were considered the favorites, the co-favorites coming into our Pro Sport motos. It's been a disastrous week for Hymas so far. As he said, too many mistakes and bad gate picks and all that. He's had 1 podium in 3 motos. It's been pretty bad by his standards. He almost beat Levi Kitchen for these titles last year, so it's been rough on Hymas. Ryder D won his first moto of the week. He's had some great come from behind rides, but he couldn't catch Gavin Towers late in a moto today. Oh, here we go. It's freestyle tonight? Yeah. That's where everybody's going. Wow, it's about to get big. The freestyle's going off. Hey guys, so Ryder D couldn't catch Gavin Towers in 1 moto, and then a tremendous battle in the 3rd moto that they had in Pro Sport. He went over the bars, had a huge endo. Caden Broswell, a spectacular ride. He actually caught past everybody to win it. Great job by him. It's about to get crazy now in freestyle. And Hayden Deegan had 1 moto where he crashed into the back of a downed Evan Ferry, and Ferry's foot peg actually ripped Deegan's rear wheel spokes out, so he was done in that moto. The next moto, he had a bad gate pick, Deegan, and still managed to get like a decent start and took the win over his old buddy Daxton Bennick, who kept it honest and close to the end. So that was pretty good. Okay, those are the main classes. We'll talk more, but the bigger news in the industry was what broke yesterday with the Super Motocross World Championship. You're probably completely confused as to all this Supercross and Motocross news you've been getting over the last couple of months. First, the announcement of the World Supercross Championship, and now the Super Motocross World Championship. They are 2 different series. I'm gonna try as I walk and talk. This is very elaborate, very complex. I'm gonna try to explain all this while I walk and talk and I don't get hit by vehicles. The obvious Super Motocross World Championship, what that is basically MX Sports, those are my bosses, they run this event, full disclosure, and Feld, who runs Supercross, have decided to start working together. Now, I don't know how inside baseball you are, and if you know that, hey, howdy folks, I don't know if, what the, that was terrible. There we go. Now here's how this actually works. I don't believe the 2 sides actually got along very well for a long, long time. And then in Daytona in 2020, Dave Prater and Todd Gendro from Feld went to the Daytona Supercross. They knew the Coombs family and MX Sports would be there, and they said, look, we got to put this behind us. We need to start working together. It's probably going to be better for the industry if we do. We don't really have any plans of what we would do, but let's just try to be cool. And then like 5 days later, the entire world got shut down with COVID. This is March of 2020. The Indy Supercross was done a couple days after that. Then they had to work together to try to fit the series schedules in. They pushed Pro Motocross back in 2020 so Supercross could have 7 races in Salt Lake. And after working together to get that done, they're like, hey, that worked out pretty good. Why don't we do it more? And then they started brewing some ideas. Dave Gowan from Monster, who used to be a team manager for a variety of teams, Team Green, Rockstar Energy Suzuki. Remember that magical Davey Millsaps year? He was the team manager back then for them. Dave has motocross in his heart. He happened to stop by the Coombs office actually on the way to the Daytona 500, and he said, you guys need to work together more. That was really good. I think you could do more if you work together. It's good for the industry. Then Dave went down to the Daytona 500. He's at Monster. He's got some connections. He talked to Jim France, AMA Pro Racing, actually being owned by the France family. Jim France also now runs NASCAR. He said, Jim, maybe we can make this work. I'll introduce you to Kenneth Feld. Let's get everybody in a room. People that didn't used to actually know each other, probably assumed they all didn't like each other. Let's get them all together. And they started making plans. Last summer, I was told, last July, I was at Redbud, and I was told of this plan that finally got announced. 13 months later, they announced yesterday with this Supercross, Super Motocross. Oh, there's the guy. What'd you get right there?
I got the last Open Pro Sport goggles worn by Ryder DiFrancesco.
That's it.
Signed.
Big time. That's big time. Down at Loretta's, that's about as big a name as you're gonna get. So the Super Motocross World Championship idea was hatched. You might have gotten an email. I think it was July 26th or something like that last year. Check your email. They sent out some emails to fans. Same email from Supercross and then another one to Motocross if you're on their mailing list. It was a fan survey to see if, do you watch both Supercross and Motocross? Who doesn't? Of course the results were overwhelmingly in favor of, yeah, I watch them both. It's all the same riders, it's all the same teams. What's the diff? They were already formulating a plan of taking the best of both series together. So now it's finally been announced, and here's how it is going to work. Next year, you'll have the regular 17 Monster Energy Supercross races, champion crowned, just like usual. There will be 11 Lucas Oil Pro Motocross rounds, champions crowned, just like usual. And then after that, there will be 3 races. Those are the 3 Super Motocross World Championships, where they'll have hybrid type tracks. If you want a very, very general idea of what this will look like, think Monster Energy Cup. I guess something like that. A track that's a little less Supercrossy, kind of both-ish. They're gonna have some really cool venues they're planning. They've already said the Los Angeles Coliseum will be the finale. And the reason for that is because the first, hey, Super Motocross combo race ever was the Los Angeles Coliseum in 1972, 50 years ago. That was the first Supercross, but that wasn't even a term back then. They were just like, well, it's a motocross race in a stadium. Super Bowl of Motocross was actually what they called it in 72. So they want to symbolically go back to the same stadium where this concept of putting motocross races in a stadium started. So again, same normal Supercross schedule and champions, same normal motocross schedule and champions, and then 3 more races in the fall. And the reason they're doing this, now you might not like the idea of a 3-race playoff type championship, but I'll tell you who does. TV companies love it. When they started shopping this idea to potential TV partners, hey, we're just gonna sell it as all the races in the sport together, not 2 separate series, and we'll throw in this bonus playoff thing at the end. How do you like that? The TV companies liked it a lot more, to the point where they were willing to bid a lot more money for the rights, to the point where this sport finally has gotten to the point where it can earn some income from TV rights. They've gotten paid by TV networks before, but I believe it has barely been enough money to even cover the production costs. It costs a lot of money to produce a TV show live. Now there's actually some money to be made from the TV rights because of this revised format of both series going together and selling themselves as one and having a playoff. And because of that money, they're going to pay bigger purse money at every single round of Supercross and Motocross last year, and then huge kind of Monster Cup style money at those 3 playoff races. So that is how that is going to work. It's a Super Motocross World Championship. No, I know everybody's going to say this is just a scrambled together reaction to World Supercross. Like I said, I did hear the plan of some sort of a combined, how are we going to have Supercross and Motocross combined into one champion in some sense last summer. And by the way, last summer is when the FIM sanctioning for Supercross went away. Interesting timing there. But credit to the FIM, they immediately said they were putting World Supercross up for bid. The guys behind the Aussex Open Supercross, which is an excellent event, Adam Bailey and Ryan Sanderson, I got to meet them at Aussex a couple years ago. They're great dudes. Whoa! Are you allowed to be here yet, or is it like you undercover?
I think so.
Yeah. You gonna race?
No.
No pro sport or nothing? Okay.
I'm not coming back.
Freestyle? Do not say that. Do not say that.
I'm not coming back. Maybe with a child.
Do not say that. Oh, you're not coming to Loretta's?
Oh, I'm not racing you.
Yeah, you're not doing that.
I'm not doing
35 plus thing.
No,
okay.
I'm out.
Look, bro, right now.
I can't beat Mike Brown anyway.
Yeah, yes, probably. Look, bro, we just want you to race some pro races. We don't need to worry about Loretta's down the road.
Oh, you gotta hit me with. I just rolled into the.
You said you were not hiding, so we asked the tough questions. Someday you're gonna race again?
Just a tough statement, wasn't a question.
Yeah, you're right.
It's something
I'm not
I would
asking.
like to race. Yeah.
Okay, that is the goal, to someday race. Yeah.
I can tell you it's way harder to not race than it is to race.
That's good to hear. That's what we want to hear.
Way harder.
I have only one last question.
We have like 35 races next year too, so
that's going to be a lot of.
Yeah.
That's not going to be a lot of watching. It's going to be a lot of racing.
It's going to be a lot of racing.
Okay, that's what I want to hear. I was literally just talking about that. I only have one other question.
Okay.
I only have one other question. How long did you wear a knee brace with this ACL surgery?
6 weeks.
I gotta go. I gotta go. That's not the answer I wanted to hear. Wow, I'm more than double that, and I'm getting a lot of heat for it. So credit to the FIM, they shopped, once they were no longer co-sanctioned with the AMA of the Monster Energy Supercross series here. I don't know if you're following all this. They quickly shopped it. The Aussex Open guys picked it up. I have high respect for those guys. The Aussex Open's a great race. So they put their own global Supercross championship together. I can tell you the line in the sand between these two things. A global Supercross is gonna have a quick, I think, 3 races of their own this fall. Next year they say they want a full season, 10 races, I think, something like that. That's gonna start in June. So eventually you are gonna have Supercross and Motocross having the same dates in the US as, or same general time frame the races are taking place as World Supercross. But I do wanna say this. I heard about these Super Motocross, AMA plans last summer. This is not in reaction to World Supercross. In fact, the FIM sanction went away and then Global Supercross came to be. But it doesn't matter. They're both gonna race, and I think it's awesome because, as I've said several times here, we have enough stars now in this sport, I think, to support both series being good. Back in the 80s, the only way to really be popular was to win races. We all know that there's tons of riders who you know and love. They're big names. They don't all have to win. There's just so many more avenues for riders to be someone that you would pay money to go to a stadium and watch, or turn your television on and watch. There's plenty of talent to go around, and both these series are promising to pay now big money. So I think that's awesome. As far as the difference in the series, here's gonna be the biggest difference. The American factory teams are not interested in the global Supercross thing. They're generally not interested in FIM racing, in world competition. They race in America. It's the same championships they pursued for the last 50 years. They've put their flag in the ground. They're racing in the United States. They're not supporting the global Supercross thing. Now, Global Supercross made a great move, and they are embracing privately owned teams. They have a franchise model. I believe there's only 10 franchises up for grabs. There's real value there because they've kept it very limited. We've had some pretty decent, incredible teams coming in to that series. We've heard that Ken Roxon's gonna race. They got Eli Tomac to do 1 race as a wild card. Should be pretty cool. Again, I got respect for those guys, and I'm trying not to be too crazy either way, even though I do work for MX Sports, but I hope that this doesn't implode the sport. I'm hoping these both grow the sport because it's 2 different concepts. One's global, one's domestic, one's private teams, one's factory teams. Hopefully there's room for both. But that is the news, and your head is probably spinning trying to keep up with all this stuff, like what is what and what is what. I'm just gonna clarify this. Here is why this Super Motocross thing is big news. It's not the 3 races at the end of the year. It's not calling it a Super Motocross World Championship. I did a lot of research. You can read the story that I wrote on RacerX that I posted yesterday. I talked to a lot of teams. Traditionally, factory teams have been against more racing. You hear what Shane Serlo was saying? How much racing? 10 months. Traditionally, the factory teams have been against it. I was shocked to hear the level of excitement of these factory teams. You can read the quotes. Roger DeCoster said, "This is the best thing that's ever happened in 50 years of racing in America." Bruce Sternstrom, the racing boss at Kawasaki, who's always been advocating for shorter series, less races, less wear and tear. Suddenly he's excited about this. How could that be? How could they change their minds that much? It is for the first time ever. Oh, what's up? Don't crash.
What's up?
Just one-handed. Do your own freestyle there, Way family. Why are the teams so into this? And by the way, the way they're slicing this is, if you consider the Monster Cup a typical race in the calendar, that would be a 30 race season. They're removing one national, add Monster Cup back, add one more race for this 3 race thing. It's 31 races. If you consider the Monster Cup a typical part of the schedule, that's 30 races normally. So it's not as many additional races as it kind of seems on paper, but they're still racing from January to October. Here's why the teams are excited. It's not the playoff thing per se. It's not the extra race per se. It's the collaborative spirit which we have never had in the sport. The teams are actually pumped on the promoters, and the promoters are actually pumped on the teams, and the 2 promoters, MX Sports and Feld, are actually pumped on each other. I'm using the word actually because I can actually tell you that has not actually been the case. Maybe ever. Like at best, all these sides have been indifferent. They've been kind of like all riding the same bus together, but maybe not talking to each other, but they were willing to sit there. You know, when you get on the elevator with someone awkwardly, yeah, you're going from the 1st floor to the 3rd floor together. It doesn't mean you're broing down. Now they're broing down. Now they're talking. I've never seen them get along so well. So that's what I'm excited about, because when you actually have people on the same page working together, who knows what you can come up with? 3 playoff races, more TV money, which leads larger payouts. That's a start. But they might come up with something 5 years from now we haven't even thought of yet, and maybe that'll change the game to an even larger degree. Having everyone working together instead of against each other, it's almost guaranteed to be better for the sport. So that's going to be interesting. That is the news. I hope you could understand that. 2 series. There's Global Supercross. That is an international thing. They'll have 3 races this fall. That's called the FIM World Supercross Championship. And this new Super Motocross World Championship is the typical Monster Energy Supercross, Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, and then 3 playoffs after that. That's the Super Motocross World Championship. Try to keep all that straight. We'll see how it turns out. We'll see you next year. And I'll give you more reports from Loretta's for this year, brought to you by Race Tech. Now it's time to watch a freestyle. See ya.